won't stop till I hear him say,
But this is when the Twin Towers were hit via the quote unquote terrorist attack that took place on September 11th, 2001. And look at how the markets reacted. Okay. My personal opinion, not financial advice, but was a manipulation event to crash the market in order for them to de-hedge their positions from back in the 1990s. Okay. Alrighty. What is going on, CYPRX advanced YouTubers? Welcome back to the CYPRX YouTube page. As always, if you're interested in learning about cryptocurrencies, commodities, indices, and foreign exchange, please go ahead and consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, very interesting and intuitive video breakdown today. We're going to go over some fundamentals as well as technical analysis on XRP along with the DXY, United States Dollar Strength Index. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this video breakdown heading into the weekend. This week, we've had some very beautiful and interesting price action on XRP, covering some technical analysis that we have been covering on the Twitter page and on this YouTube for quite some time, way back in June and July. Some price targets that we've been mentioning and calling out have come into fruition. But before we get started in the fundamental and technical analysis breakdown, I want to leave you guys heading into the weekend with something very positive. Now, I'm going to create some very interesting video breakdowns coming into this weekend and heading into next week. So you all can be looking forward to those. Again, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. But to start this video off, I just want to say this to you all. Again, a lot of uncertainty and a lot of people losing money, getting liquidated in this market left and right. All right. So real fast, reading this tweet to you all, it is not about what you go through. It is how you go through it. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, that your mentality in this market is what will provide longevity for you in your survival long-term in this market. Okay. That is what will drive your success and your progress in this market is the mentality that you have. Do you have an optimistic mentality or a pessimistic mentality? Okay. The rest of this tweet reads, good things happen, thank God. Bad things happen, thank God. It doesn't realistically matter if you're religious or not. Be grateful for the things that happen to you on a day-to-day basis, regardless if they're good or bad, because you can always learn a lesson from them, okay? Trust the process and understand that it is not a requirement for people to validate the path that you are taking, all right? Follow your own path, make your own trading decisions, and understand where you want to be long-term, okay? Always have a 5 to 10-year plan, regardless if it's in this market or with your personal life, maybe a business endeavor, or maybe your job, your family. Always have a long-term plan. Try and attempt your hardest to be optimistic and understand that no matter the good or bad things that you go through, be grateful and understand that there is a learning lesson in every single thing that you experience on this earth. So heading into the weekend, I just wanted to convey a positive and productive message to you all that I displayed on my Twitter page. Coming over here. All right, let's get into the technical analysis, some things that we've been talking about regarding XRP, regarding the DXY strength. Okay, if you've been following this YouTube and my Twitter for quite some time, hopefully we are saving people's portfolios out here. All right. You guys can see that this tweet was put out on July 7th, 2022. I said to you all XRP buy scenarios that I sent to the CYPRX students. So again, if you're interested in our technical analysis and in our private group chat, the link is in the description down below. Visit cyprx.teachable.com for that mentorship program. But I sent a message to the CYPRX students where I conveyed to them a potential trading setup back in July that could potentially take place on XRP. And you guys can see this screenshot. I said on the 1st of July, my ideas for a run into 41 to 42 cents. You guys obviously know if you're following XRP and the price pump that we just recently experienced, all of these trading ideas have come into fruition. Okay. So if we go and we look at the charts from the July lows, if any of the CYPRX students had listened to me, and again, I conveyed this to them in the live Zoom call that we had, the community Zoom call on a weekly basis that we have every Friday, you guys can see back on July 1st, when I sent that screenshot to the students, had the students listened to that screenshot that I sent them and pumped $1,000 into this market, again, nothing that I constitute to these students as financial advice, but let's just say they would have taken it upon themselves and pumped $1,000 into this market from the July low all the way up into the high. That is roughly an 86% gain. So on $1,000 pumped into this market, you would have returned $860. You would have paid yourself back for joining the CYPRX mentorship. Again, mind-blowing information, technical analysis callouts that we provide on the Twitter page way in advance, make sure that you all follow us on Twitter. The best way to do that is to copy the link in the description down below, mainly because we are shadow banned. Moving on, we put another analysis out to you guys. This was on September 16th, roughly when price was at about 35 cents. I said to you all, if the Fed does not crash the markets again with interest rate hikes of 75 to 100 basis points, you all already know that we got that 75 basis point rate hike. Only 100 point basis rate hike, in my personal opinion, will crash the markets, which I will get into in just 1 second. But we could see a move into 45 and 50 cents. I let you all know that days in advance on September 16th, all eyes on the Fed. And I gave you guys screenshots of that 50 cent to 45 cent threshold again. And as you all know, we just recently experienced those price targets have come into fruition. Okay. Now, this is the most important and crucial tweet that I put out to you all a couple of months ago. This was on June 25th, 2022. And I said, nothing has changed. Failure to break bullish with a sustainable daily close above 45 to 65 cents means we can still see bears sell from a premium from May psych levels. The full analysis below, and I sent you guys this screenshot. So this is what we're going to talk about today, potentially happening. We're going to talk about the United States dollar strength. And again, this is all just things to be mindful of, talking about current price action information. I get the hopium surrounding a settlement with the SEC case. We already know that that's not happening in September. So everybody that told you and manipulated you on YouTube and Twitter into believing that that was going to happen this month, obviously, of course, there's only 1 week left of this month. I can almost guarantee you from the insider information that I have that that is not happening, ladies and gentlemen. I personally believe that the SEC case is going to come into fruition in the form of a complete solve and annihilation of this court case, with Ripple coming out on top sometime next year in 2023. We'll get into that in today's video breakdown as well. But I put the screenshot out to you all. We're going to talk about this. So the price levels and targets that I called out to you all are 45 and 65 cents. So in this parameter, we could see the market makers sell from a premium. Now, when we go over to the technical analysis aspect of this video, we will cover that here in just 1 second, but just showing you guys that I warn you all well in advance that if the bank and institutions do decide to sell from a premium, and if we see United States dollar pick up strength, which we're going to cover here in a second, around these psychological levels, we could potentially see a liquidation event beneath June lows where XRP, as of this screenshot, you guys can see I have targets set of roughly around 25 to 17 cents at the lowest, where we could see a capitulation event down into those lows and then the market reversal to new all-time highs. So this is a tweet and an analysis just to be mindful of. Now, I'm personally, again, not screaming that the bottom is in until we see a sustainable break above those May highs or that 65 cent psychological level. That means on the charts, when we go over those levels, we need to see a weekly hold and close above in the form of a bullish move above that 65 cent psychological level. Okay. Excuse me. So that leads me to this tweet. And again, like I said, technical analysis breakdown we'll get into the end of this video. I said to you all, every time that XRP pumps, people think that the case will be over. I already tried to warn you all the SEC case will delay this every chance they get until 2023. That is when we can start to really get our hopes up for the case to be completely over. And I've been telling you, everybody, you need to control your emotions, okay? Brad Garlinghouse was on Fox News in an interview the other day where he mentioned that he thinks that this court case will be over in 3 to 9 months. Think about the time frames that I've given you all. And then now we're going to switch over to the bullish fundamentals for the United States dollar to correlate that with my price predictions and my overall macro perspective with what's going on in this court case and what's going to happen in the cryptocurrency market in the next couple of months. So this is an article from fxstreet.com. And again, this is just to leave you all with an open-minded perspective of what's to come via the macro backdrop. Okay, again, remember that takes precedence, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that current bullish news, fundamentals, and things of that nature can temporarily drive price, but the overall macro perspective controls this market, and that is something that you cannot deteriorate your attention from. Okay, if you lose vision of that, you lose sight of that, you are going to get annihilated in this market. Remember, the crypto bullish fundamentals do not match price action right now. So every single time that there is a bullish fundamental that comes out, you have to understand we will see temporary relief rallies in this market, but the macro backdrop for the cryptocurrency market and risk on assets is bearish due to the United States dollar strength, the political uncertainty, the uncertainty surrounding the wars that are going on in the market right now. Okay, everything surrounding this bear market right now is still here, ladies and gentlemen. So you have to be mindful of that. And again, I'm just, as an influencer, going to give you guys the realist perspective in this market. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys $1,000 price predictions on XRP. You're never going to see that on this YouTube channel, although that would be lovely. I would be able to retire myself, every single CYPRX trader that I have in our community, and my family members if that happened. So I'm a firm believer in the future of that happening, but I'm not going to sit here and say that that's going to happen now like all these bullish moon boys are. Okay. So, to take into consideration this article from fxstreet.com, and this is something that we've been talking about and that I'm going to go over in the technical aspect of the DXY in just 1 second. But the US dollar index set to reach a high towards the 2001 peak. This plays an important role, ladies and gentlemen. The 2001 peak, which we're going to go over via technical analysis and manipulation here in just 1 second when we head over to the charts. But to read this article, it says, the US dollar is powering on, reaching a new 20-year high in the US dollar index. Now there is no technical until the 121 level, economists at Scotiabank report. The weak risk sentiment provides the essential drive behind the United States dollar amid surging long-term yields and overwhelmingly bearish equity investor sentiment. With the DXY trading roughly around the 109-110 area this week, there is nothing in terms of technical resistance on the long-term DXY chart now until the 121 point since the 2001 peak. I said that to you guys over 2 weeks ago that we will see an appreciation in value of the DXY up into those 2001 highs. That is something that, again, that we've been talking about on this YouTube channel and on my Twitter for quite some time. You guys can see here, I said, the Federal Reserve policy stance will turn around in the next 3 to 6 months. 2023, cryptocurrencies will pop, just watch. Now, the only thing that I would like to correct in this tweet is I said, watch 1 or 2 more rate hikes, then we will switch up and slam on the brakes, get your bags ready for 2023. It will be an interesting year to remember for utility assets. I personally think that the Federal Reserve is going to continue to hike rates, and I'm going to get into that via the technical analysis in just 1 second. But to solidify that argument, we see another article over here from fxstreet.com. US dollar strength to persist through next year as the Fed rate cuts not expected before 2024. Okay. So the US dollar index is trading at fresh multi-decade highs near 110. Economists at Robobank expect the greenback to remain on the strong foot. So again, this is something just to be mindful of as an intraday trader or a long-term hodler in the cryptocurrency market. So that way you can position yourself right in the next couple of months coming into 2023. US dollar strength is based on a combination of the Fed hawkishness and risk aversion. It has been our view from some time that the US dollar strength is set to persist for some time, at least until the early months of next year, which again, if you go back to the tweet that I posted to you all, I told you all that in the next 3 to 6 months, which puts us roughly around April, March, May timeframe of next year, we will see a pivot from the Federal Reserve. So be mindful of that. We could see another leg to the downside between now or any given point in time until spring of next year. So even if there's bullish relief pumps because of bullish fundamentals that come out in the cryptocurrency market, you guys already know that ISO 222 is most likely going to be a very volatile month in November. When all of that stuff comes into fruition, we could see another bullish relief pump then, but just be mindful, the macro backdrop is still bearish given the United States dollar strength. So at any given point in time, we see a temporary pullback on the United States dollar that will obviously, of course, temporarily boost the cryptocurrency market cap. So just be mindful on how you're positioning yourselves. I'm not telling you guys not to buy this dip or buy at these lows because prices on our utility assets are still 90 to 80% discounted. As an investor, you need to take into consideration how much price fluctuations you can mentally handle in your portfolio if you're investing at these current levels. Okay. To continue this article, given that we are no longer forecasting rate cuts before 2024, there is now a strong argument that the United States dollar strength may persist for longer. US dollar strength is based on the combination of the Fed hawkishness and risk aversion. The latter has drawn strength from concerns about the outlook for the global growth. Headwinds for growth include risks of the United States dollar hard landing, slow growth in China, energy-related recessions in the Eurozone, and widespread reduction in purchasing power due to inflation. So I'm reading these articles to you all just so that way you all are mindful. Remember, we have rate hikes coming out in November. That's something as an investor you need to be paying attention to, because if we get that 100 basis point rate hike, that is going to cause blood in the market. Okay. That is going to cause an extreme leg down in the market, in my personal opinion, a shock to the markets. And we are going to see a move to the downside or back to June lows on assets like XRP and some of our other utility driven assets. Okay. So here I tweeted out to you all, most people are already swimming in consumer debt, credit cards, student loans, auto loans, mortgages. Millions will stop paying when the crisis arrives. No interest rate payments, no minimum payments, nothing. The banks will start to scramble too. the system will be reset. Okay. Why am I saying this to you all? Because this is going to correlate with the technical analysis with the DXY that we're going to cover here in just 1 second. And then I also said to you all, Black Swan, stuff happens, quote unquote. Now, stuff doesn't just happen. Remember, crises emerge because regulators don't comprehend the statistical properties of the systems they regulate. Every move has been planned from the beginning. Then I did hashtag XRP, XLM, XDC, solving the potential liquidity crisis that is going to take place. Now let's get over to the DXY. All right. So I want to avert your attention back here first. Okay. That article said that we are pushing prices up on the DXY strength to September 2001 highs. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to really pay attention to the manipulation that took place during the 2001 crisis on September 11th, and look at how this was a manipulation event for the banking institutional giants to liquidate any over-leveraged players before they sold the market. Okay. This is where 9/11 took place. Okay. And I know that that's a touchy subject, so I'm not going to cover that right now in this video, but this is when the Twin Towers were hit via the quote unquote terrorist attack that took place on September 11th, 2001. And look at how the markets reacted. Okay. It was, in my personal opinion, again, this is my personal opinion for YouTube and the sake of not getting demonetized on YouTube. My personal opinion, not financial advice, but was a manipulation event to crash the market in order for them to de-hedge their positions from back in the 1990s. Okay. As you guys can see, months before the September 11th crisis, we were operating at a high where people were selling in the form of retail resistance above these highs with over-leveraged positions on the DXY. You guys can see that we are building trendline liquidity beneath lows prior to the 9/11 event. You guys already know how at CYPRX we trade against retail methodologies. And here you all can see the as above, so below methodology. So if I turn my charts upside down or right side up, however you want to call it, you guys can see the institutionalized pattern that we talk about here at CYPRX play out to the T. They built liquidity beneath lows. They liquidated those lows. Okay. Here's the attack on the Twin Towers, September 11, 2001. Okay. They rejected a psychological level, reversed the market. So here's the break of structure. Okay. And then they pushed price up back into a premium and sold again from where the 9/11 attack happened, or the Black Swan event. So you guys can see, again, this is my personal opinion. You all need to do your own technical analysis and your own research. This was a manipulation move, okay, that was implemented into the market so that way the banking institutions could get proper sell positions to then come and de-hedge their positions from way back in the 1990s. You guys can see here, we have lows in the form of retail support where people were buying the United States dollar. And from the crisis that took place all the way back in 2001, the markets dropped all the way underneath of those leveraged positions on the DXY back in 1990s. And now you guys can see that this was the financial crisis in 2008 when the market started to reverse again. Okay. The housing crisis happened in 2008 in December. You guys can see here another manipulation move. What was it used for? It was used as a catalyst for the banking institutions to push price back down into a discount so that way they could buy from their liquidation event manipulation tool and tactic that took place from the September 11th crisis that took place to liquidate the buy positions from the 1990s. As you guys can see, where they took buy positions from after crashing the market in 2001, you guys can see them push price all the way underneath of those buy positions from the 1990s. Okay. Now coming over to the current price action. November 2021, when satellite images for the very first time of Russian troops on the Ukrainian border were announced to the world, you guys can see that that is when everybody fled to the United States dollar because it is a safe haven currency. That is when the cryptocurrency bear market started. So I have that highlighted for you all because I've already mentioned to you all on this YouTube that this is where we need to see the United States dollar depreciate in value, okay, before we can scream that we are going to see a new market rally in the cryptocurrency market. Before we can see new all-time high prices, the United States dollar must depreciate in value back down to these levels where the bear market started, okay? I've already covered that for you all. But what that article was saying, and via technical analysis, I personally think, okay, ladies and gentlemen, look at this, that the market makers are not going to leave behind all the liquidity from the Black Swan event that took place on September 11, 2001, okay? There are over-leveraged positional traders that are selling from these highs that have open positions still from back in September 11, 2001, when that crisis took place, that black swan event. And I personally think that the market makers are going to liquidate those positions before they crash the economy. Now, leading you back to this tweet, okay? Most people are already swimming in consumer debt, credit cards, student loans, auto loans, and mortgages. Millions will stop paying when the crisis arrives. No interest rate payments, no minimum payments, nothing. The banks will start to scramble too. Save this tweet, because when this takes place, okay, these are all the headlines that you're going to see. Aside from that, I am predicting, okay, and this is massive for me to predict this openly on the internet, okay, there is 110% going to be some type of black swan event before this capitulation event takes place. For them to crash the economy back down to these lows, which is going on 110% to happen, okay, the market cannot push up. It just can't, okay? The market cannot flip bullish for forever, ladies and gentlemen. And for them to crash the market like they did back in 2001, okay, we have not experienced these high price levels in the DXY since 2001. For them to crash the market again, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to have to be some type of black swan event. I'm calling it now. Be mindful, pay attention to it. Remember this tweet that I said to you all, black swan events cannot just happen. Every move is pre-planned in the market and pre-predicted, okay? With that being said, take into consideration everything that's happening in the market. The Fed now going live with ISO 2022 in March, April, and May of next year, okay? That is when I'm personally predicting that some type of massive black swan event is going to take place, and they are going to flip the switch in the cryptocurrency market, okay? Personally, I think that over the course of the next couple of months, we are going to see some type of appreciation and value in the DXY, where they are going to attempt to liquidate their positions back from 2001 when they had this black swan event that took place that we all got to personally experience. If you're, if you were born before that year of 2001, we all lived through that, okay? It is going to be insane, ladies and gentlemen. We are above the levels of the 2008 crisis. We are above the levels of the CV-19 pandemic crisis levels. We are almost at the levels of the black swan event that took place in 2001. Ladies and gentlemen, the next financial crisis that comes is going to be catastrophic, okay? Make sure, again, that you're situating yourself on the right side of the market, okay? You're not following these bullish moon boys, and you are understanding that if this does happen on the DXY, if we do appreciate to these levels, we are most likely going to see Bitcoin fall beneath those 17,500 levels. Now, that is only if this happens. For the market to create another leg down in the cryptocurrency market, we would 110% need to see this move higher on the DXY, okay? So if this does not take place, then in my personal opinion, they are going to pivot. The United States dollar is going to depreciate in value. But before I start to scream, the bottom is in, we need to see the DXY start to drop lower, okay? Coming over to XRP, my XRP full analysis, like I told you guys, at any given point in time, the banking institutions on the weekly charts, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, the banking institutions do not trade off of TradingView. They do not draw Fibonacci's on their charts. They do not trade with MACD or RSI or indicators like your bullish moon boys are doing on their charts, okay? They trade with price over on the right-hand side and time. And if you look at the weekly charts right now, we are still operating in this massive bearish leg back from April highs. So for me to scream that the bottom is in, and for me to get happy that we are going to see a massive run on XRP like everybody is predicting, okay, aside from all the trend lines that you can draw on your charts and the price breakouts and the predictions that you can imagine on XRP, we need to see a sustainable break and bullish hold above the 60-cent psychological level, which is roughly around May highs, because on the lower charts on the daily, if we drop down to the daily, okay, these are the lower highs on the higher time frame that the market created when the bear market started, okay? So as you guys can see, all right, tracking structure, we see April lower highs, coming into May, we see more lower highs, all right? So this is just logic, ladies and gentlemen. For us to see a bullish move and an impactful move higher, maybe potentially above $1 on XRP, we need to break these higher time frame lower highs with higher highs. That means that we need to see higher highs above these levels, i.e. April and May highs, okay? And then we need to see higher lows hold sustainable bullish momentum above these levels. Until we see this price action, ladies and gentlemen, at any given moment in time, the major banking institutional giants can seek to take premium sells from the levels in which they were selling from back in May and April. Okay. So be cautious if you're trading leverage positions in the form of buys beneath lows, and be cautious if you are selling at these highs, because if we hold sustainable bullish higher lows in the form of the daily chart, we could be seeing a bottom for XRP. Now, I will always be a buyer on XRP beneath 32 cents. I still have buy positions and buy limits set at 25, 17, and 13 cents on XRP. I will never get rid of those just in case the market does crash. I am hoping for that to happen so that way I can add to my long-term positions on XRP. I personally will not scream that the bottom is in on this YouTube channel or on Twitter or anything like that until we break above 60 and 85 cents. Okay. At any given point in time, if we appreciate into those levels, we need to be mindful that the banking institutions could sell from a premium from where they sold from back in May and April. The only thing that would solidify that the real bottom is in is if we have higher time frame bullish sustainable breaks and holds above these psychological levels with bullish order flow. That means higher highs and higher lows above these levels that lead to higher price action and bullish sustainability. Alongside of that, we would need to see the DXY depreciate in value. So this is the macro backdrop, the higher time frame price predictions for you guys. Again, like I said, I am hoping, obviously, of course, to add to my long-term bags, which I will start buying price on XRP beneath 32 cents if that does come into fruition, for these levels to come into fruition. Okay. I am a firm believer that that is still going to take place before we do see massive new all-time highs on XRP. Okay. Now, that's not to say that that is 110% guaranteed. This is just my macroeconomic perspective for you guys heading into the weekend. We had some amazing price predictions coming to fruition that we've been calling out since back in July. As you guys can see, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure that you do so now. If you're not following the Twitter page, make sure that you do so now. And if you guys want access to this technical analysis that I send to the students, you guys can see July 1st, 2022 is when I sent this screenshot to the students. You want access to this type of analysis? You guys must be enrolled in the CYPRX mentorship program. That link is in the description down below. Reach out to me via email, schedule a Zoom call. I'd love to show face and talk to you about what to expect in the mentorship program. Blessings to you guys. I have some amazing content coming out for you all heading into this weekend and into next week. So watch out for that. As always, be cognizant, be aware, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube video breakdown.
Won't stop till I hear him say